The first text arrived on a Tuesday morning in March. We need to talk about Mom's house. You're being selfish keeping it all. I stared at my phone while packing lunches for Emma and Lucas. The house wasn't Mom's anymore. She'd signed it over to me 8 years ago when her dementia diagnosis came. I'd spent $200,000 renovating it, turning it into a duplex that generated $4,800 monthly in rental income. My sister Jennifer knew this. We'd discussed it at Mom's funeral 2 years ago. I didn't respond. The second text came that afternoon. Your kids look happy at Riverside Elementary. Nice playground. My hands went cold. Jennifer lived 3 states away in Nevada. Riverside Elementary was in Portland, Oregon. I picked up Emma and Lucas that day myself, instead of letting them take the bus. Jennifer's silver Honda sat across the street from the school entrance. She waved. That night at Dad's birthday dinner, I mentioned it to the family. Jennifer's been watching the kids' school. I said quietly. Dad set down his fork. She's visiting for my birthday. Probably just happened to drive by. She texted me about the playground. My brother Marcus laughed. You're being paranoid, Nicole. She's trying to reconnect with her niece and nephew. Jennifer smiled from across the table. I thought about stopping by to say hello, but you're so protective. Didn't want to overstep. The family nodded sympathetically. I was the difficult one. Always had been. The texts escalated through April. Emma's backpack is so cute, the pink one with butterflies. Lucas needs better shoes for PE. Those sneakers are falling apart. They eat lunch at 11:45. Emma sits with the blonde girl. Lucas sits alone. I installed a GPS tracker on my car. Jennifer's Honda appeared on the same streets I drove, to work, to the grocery store, to the kids' dentist appointments, always 3 or 4 cars back. I started documenting times, locations, screenshots of her vehicle. My ex-husband Derek thought I was losing it. Your sister wouldn't stalk you, he said during kid pickup exchange. You two just need to work out this property thing. She's following our children. She's family. Maybe she wants to be more involved in their lives. He handed me Lucas's jacket. Sign whatever paperwork she needs and move on. I called the Portland Police non-emergency line. The dispatcher was polite but clear. Family disputes didn't qualify as stalking unless there were explicit threats. Driving on public streets wasn't illegal. They suggested a restraining order if I had evidence of direct threats. I didn't. Not yet. May brought new pressure. Jennifer filed a lawsuit claiming Mom's property transfer was invalid due to undue influence during mental incapacity. Our father, brother, and aunt signed affidavits supporting her claim. The complaint listed the property's current value, $740,000. Dad called that evening. This is getting ugly, he said. Just split it with her. She needs the money. I've invested 8 years and $200,000 into that property. Family is more important than money, Nicole. I hung up. Jennifer's texts became explicit. Sign the quitclaim deed. Transfer 50% ownership. Or things get complicated. Complicated how? You know how. I installed security cameras at my house. Front door, backyard, driveway. The footage showed Jennifer's Honda driving past between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., 3 to 4 times per week. Sometimes she parked across the street for hours. I contacted a family law attorney named Patricia Moreno. She reviewed everything. The texts, GPS logs, security footage, Mom's medical records proving her competency when signing the deed, receipts for all renovation costs. This is harassment, Patricia said. But the property claim is separate from the stalking. We need to address both. How? Document everything. Don't engage. Let her escalate. June brought the breaking point. Jennifer created a Facebook page. Justice for Sarah Martinez. Sarah was our mother. The page claimed I had manipulated a sick woman, stolen her property, and was now preventing Jennifer from claiming her rightful inheritance. She posted photos of Mom's house, my car, my workplace. Then she posted photos of Emma and Lucas. School photos from the Riverside Elementary website, candid shots of them at the playground. A video of Lucas getting off the bus. The caption read, "These children benefit from stolen property. Their mother teaches them that theft is acceptable." My phone exploded with messages from concerned friends and distant relatives. Dad called, furious. "Take down your accusations against Jennifer right now." I didn't post anything. She's posting about my children. She's defending herself. You've turned this family against her. Marcus sent a group text to 12 family members. Nicole is having a breakdown. She's claiming Jennifer is stalking her. We need to intervene before she does something drastic. The property situation is making her paranoid. I sat in my car outside Emma's school and cried. Then I called Patricia. She's posting my children online, I said. Screenshot everything. I'm filing an emergency protective order petition today. That afternoon, I received Jennifer's final text. Last chance. Sign the transfer papers I'm sending, or those photos go somewhere worse than Facebook. I have hundreds more. Some are very interesting. The threat was clear. The implication was worse. I forwarded it to Patricia immediately. The protective order hearing was scheduled for June 28. I spent 3 weeks preparing. Patricia hired a digital forensics expert who analyzed Jennifer's Facebook page, extracting metadata from every photo she'd posted. The timestamps showed months of surveillance, photos taken from March through June, documenting my children's daily routines. I compiled the GPS tracking data into a spreadsheet. 47 documented instances of Jennifer's vehicle following mine over 14 weeks. The security camera footage showed 23 separate occasions of her driving past my house late at night. The text messages numbered 186, escalating from property demands to explicit threats about the children. Patricia also subpoenaed Jennifer's phone records. The cell tower data placed her phone within 500 feet of Riverside Elementary on 31 school days, despite living in Nevada and having no business in Portland. On June 27, Patricia called with unexpected news. The judge assigned a federal prosecutor to review your case. The interstate nature of the stalking and the online threats trigger federal statutes. This isn't just a protective order hearing anymore. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? It means they're taking this seriously. Very seriously. The Multnomah County Courthouse felt intimidating on June 28. I arrived with Patricia at 9 a.m. for the 10 a.m. hearing. Jennifer sat in the hallway, with our father and Marcus, both dressed in suits. She wore a professional navy dress, and held a folder of documents. She smiled at me, confident. At 9:45, 3 people in dark suits entered through the side entrance. Patricia leaned over. Federal Marshals, she whispered. My heart hammered. At 10 a.m., we entered the courtroom. Judge Sarah Brennan presided. But instead of the simple protective order hearing I expected, the prosecutor, a woman named Amanda Chen from the U.S. Attorney's Office, sat at the prosecution table. Your Honor, Amanda began, this case involves violations of 18 U.S.C. Section 2261A, interstate stalking, and 18 U.S.C. Section 875C, interstate communications containing threats. We have 9 federal marshals coordinating with Homeland Security investigations due to the cyber exploitation of minors. Jennifer's confident smile vanished. Amanda presented the evidence systematically. The GPS tracking data displayed on a large screen showed Jennifer's vehicle following mine across Portland for 14 weeks. The cell tower data proved she'd traveled from Nevada to Oregon repeatedly, positioning herself near my children's school. The text messages appeared in chronological order, showing clear escalation from property demands to threats involving the children. Then Amanda showed the Facebook post. The defendant posted 47 photos of minor children without parental consent, including videos showing their daily routines, school location and schedules. The metadata shows these photos were taken covertly over 4 months. Jennifer's attorney, a local lawyer she'd hired for the property dispute, looked stunned. Your Honor, my client was simply documenting family interactions. These aren't family interactions, Amanda interrupted. These are surveillance photos taken during a campaign of interstate stalking to extort property transfer through threats against minor children. Judge Brennan reviewed the final text message. Last chance. Sign the transfer papers I'm sending, or those photos go somewhere worse than Facebook. Miss Martinez, the judge addressed Jennifer directly. Do you understand you're being charged with federal stalking and extortion? Jennifer's face went white. This is a family property dispute. This is a criminal case involving threats against children to obtain property through coercion. Dad stood up in the gallery. Your Honor, my daughters just need to work this out. Sit down, sir, Judge Brennan said sharply. This is a federal criminal proceeding, Amanda continued. Homeland Security investigations became involved due to the online posting of minor children's images with implied threats. The defendant's statement those photos go somewhere worse than Facebook suggests intent to distribute images of minors on platforms associated with exploitation. I hadn't even considered that interpretation. My hands shook. We're requesting immediate arrest and detention pending trial, Amanda said. The defendant has demonstrated willingness to cross state lines repeatedly, has made explicit threats against minors, and has shown escalating behavior indicating she poses a continued danger. Jennifer started crying. I just wanted what was fair. The house was Mom's. The house was legally transferred 8 years ago, Amanda said. Your lawsuit alleging undue influence was filed solely to create leverage for this extortion campaign. Patricia presented Mom's medical records. 2 neurologists had evaluated her competency before the property transfer. Both confirmed she understood exactly what she was signing. The transfer included detailed documentation of my renovation plans and financial investment. Judge Brennan reviewed everything silently for several minutes. I'm granting the emergency protective order prohibiting the defendant from any contact with the petitioner or her minor children. I'm also issuing a preliminary order in the property dispute case. The civil lawsuit is stayed pending resolution of these criminal charges. She looked at Jennifer. Miss Martinez, you're being taken into federal custody. Bail hearing will be scheduled within 72 hours. 2 marshals approached Jennifer. She looked at Dad desperately. This is insane. I'm her sister. You stalked your sister's children for months and threatened them to extort property. Judge Brennan said. That's not sisterhood. That's federal crime. They handcuffed her. Marcus stood up, furious. You're destroying this family over money. Your sister destroyed this family when she started following children to school, Amanda said coldly. The courtroom cleared slowly. Dad and Marcus left without looking at me. Jennifer was escorted through a side door still crying. Patricia squeezed my shoulder. It's over. But it wasn't. Not really. Amanda approached us in the hallway. We'll need your continued cooperation for the prosecution. Based on her cell phone data, we believe there are additional surveillance photos she hasn't posted yet. Homeland Security is executing a search warrant on her electronics today. My stomach turned. We take threats against children extremely seriously, Amanda continued. She's facing up to 5 years for the stalking charge and up to 20 for the extortion. The cyber exploitation angle adds additional charges. I nodded numbly. Patricia walked me to my car. The property is yours, Nicole. Always was. The lawsuit will be dismissed. I drove to Riverside Elementary and picked up Emma and Lucas early. They climbed into the car, arguing about whose turn it was to choose music. Normal, safe. That evening I received an email from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Jennifer's bail was denied. She'd remain in federal detention until trial. The search warrant had recovered over 300 photos of my children on her laptop and phone, some taken with telephoto lenses from significant distances. Dad left a voicemail. You've destroyed your sister's life. I hope you're happy. I deleted it. Marcus sent a text. Family means nothing to you. I blocked his number. The property stayed mine. The tenants kept paying rent. Emma and Lucas kept going to school. And Jennifer stayed in federal detention facing decades in prison for mistaking stalking for negotiation. The intervention happened on a Tuesday evening at Mom's house. I walked into the living room to find everyone already seated. Mom, Dad, my brother Kevin, and my sister Jennifer. The formal arrangement told me everything. We need to talk about Jen's situation, Mom said, gesturing to the empty chair they'd left for me. Jennifer's mortgage was 4 months overdue, $14,000 immediately, plus $3,500 monthly going forward. The bank had sent final foreclosure notices. I've been helping with your medical bills, Mom, I said carefully, and Dad's prescriptions run nearly $1,000 a month. I have my own mortgage and 2 kids in daycare. But you make good money, Kevin interjected. Jennifer needs this more than you need a new car or whatever. I didn't have a new car. I drove a 2015 Honda with 140,000 miles. I can help Jen create a budget, I offered. Maybe find a financial counselor. Look at refinancing options. She doesn't need a counselor, Dad snapped. She needs family who actually cares. Jennifer's eyes were red, but I'd seen her Instagram posts from Cancun 3 weeks ago. The designer handbag on her table was new. Her nails were freshly done. I care, I said, but I can't take on another mortgage payment. That's not reasonable to ask. Family helps family, Mom said, using the phrase I'd heard my entire life. The phrase that had paid for Kevin's DUI lawyer. The phrase that had covered Dad's gambling debts. The phrase that somehow never applied when I needed help with my student loans. My answer is no, I said. I'm sorry Jennifer's struggling, but this isn't my responsibility. The temperature in the room dropped. The pressure campaign started immediately. Jennifer called 11 times the next day. Mom showed up at my office with tear-stained cheeks. Dad sent texts calling me heartless. Kevin posted on Facebook about family members who forget where they came from. By Friday the family group chat had 47 unread messages, all variations of the same theme. What kind of person lets their sister become homeless? The kind of person who's been the family ATM for 15 years. I thought but didn't say. Sunday dinner was mandatory. Mom's text made that clear. Your sister needs us all together. I went because refusing would create an even bigger scene. Jennifer was already in the kitchen when I arrived, stirring something on the stove. The kettle sat on the back burner, steam rising steadily. She'd been boiling water for tea, she said. Everyone gathered around the dining table. Dad pulled out paperwork, a payment plan he'd created. I would wire $5,000 immediately, then handle Jennifer's mortgage payment for just 6 months while she got back on her feet. I already said no, I repeated. You said no to helping your sister keep her home. Dad's voice rose. After everything this family has done for you, what has this family done for me? The question slipped out before I could stop it. The silence was deafening. How dare you, Mom whispered. Kevin stood up. You ungrateful. I'm not doing this, I said, standing. I'm not writing a check. I'm not taking on Jennifer's bills. And I'm not going to be guilted into financial decisions that could hurt my own family. Jennifer's chair scraped back. Fine, fine. Let me lose everything. I hope you sleep well knowing I'm on the street. You have options, I said. Roommates, downsizing, selling and renting, but you want me to maintain your lifestyle. And I can't do that. You're so selfish. Jennifer shrieked. She grabbed the kettle from the stove. I saw her hand close around the handle, saw her arm pull back, saw the arc of boiling water heading straight for me. I turned instinctively, but the water hit my chest, soaking through my shirt. The pain was instant and overwhelming, like my skin was being peeled off with knives. I screamed, stumbling backward into the wall. Oh my God, Mom shouted. It slipped. Jennifer, the kettle slipped, but I'd seen her throw it. We'd been 6 feet apart. The kettle hadn't slipped from her hand during a pour. She'd hurled the entire thing at me. My hands were shaking as I pulled out my phone. My chest felt like it was still on fire, the pain radiating outward in waves. What are you doing? Dad demanded. Calling 911. I managed through gritted teeth. Kevin tried to grab my phone. Don't be dramatic. It was an accident. We'll get you ice. I pulled away, completing the call. My voice sounded distant to my own ears as I gave the address, and explained I'd been burned. She tripped, Mom was telling Dad. Tell them Jennifer tripped carrying the kettle. It was an accident. Jennifer stood frozen, the empty kettle still in her hand, her face pale. The paramedics arrived in 7 minutes. By then, blisters were forming across my chest. They cut away my shirt carefully. One of them, an older man with kind eyes, kept asking how it happened. My sister threw it at me, I said. She didn't, Mom interrupted. It slipped when she was refilling it. She lost her grip. The paramedic looked at the distance between where I stood and the stove. You were all the way over here when it happened. Yes. He exchanged glances with his partner but didn't say anything else. The ER physician classified the burns as 2nd degree, covering approximately 15% of my chest and stomach. They started IV fluids and gave me morphine that barely touched the pain. A nurse came in to clean the burns. Debridement, she called it. I bit down on a towel to keep from screaming. My family arrived an hour later with flowers. Jennifer's eyes were swollen from crying. I'm so sorry, she kept saying. It was an accident. I'm so sorry. Mom squeezed my hand. These things happen. Thank God you're okay. Kevin posted a photo on Instagram. Family sticks together through accidents and everything else. I was too exhausted and medicated to argue. The next morning, a different doctor came in. Dr. Patricia Morrison, according to her badge. She was a trauma surgeon specializing in burn injuries. I need to examine the wound pattern, she said, her tone professional, but something else underneath, careful. She took photographs from multiple angles, asked detailed questions about exactly where I'd been standing, where Jennifer was, the height of the stove, whether I'd turned or moved. Your family said the kettle slipped during refilling, Dr. Morrison said. That's what they said, but that's not what happened. It wasn't a question. I hesitated, then shook my head. Dr. Morrison pulled up a chair. Burn patterns tell stories. The splash trajectory, the distribution, the depth variations, they all indicate directionality and force. Your burns suggest the water came from a distance, traveling horizontally at chest height with significant velocity. She showed me the photos on her tablet, pointed out how the burns were densest in the center, fading at the edges in a pattern consistent with liquid thrown through the air. If someone slipped while pouring, the water would travel downward. These burns traveled straight across, and the force required to reach you from 6 feet away. She paused. This wasn't an accident. She threw it, I said quietly. I refused to pay her mortgage. She grabbed the kettle and threw it at me. Dr. Morrison nodded slowly. I need to make a report. Hospital protocol for intentional assault injuries. Is that all right? I thought about Jennifer crying, about Mom's hand in mine, about Kevin's Instagram post about family. Then I thought about my skin burning, about weeks of recovery ahead, about permanent scars I'd carry because I'd said no to an unreasonable demand. Yes, I said, make the report. The detectives arrived that afternoon, 6 of them, which seemed excessive until the lead detective explained I was looking at assault with a deadly weapon, possibly attempted murder given the severity. Detective Williams was methodical. She took my statement, requested my phone for the messages, asked about the family's financial demands. Her partner, Detective Torres, photographed my injuries again. 4 other detectives interviewed hospital staff, pulled security footage from the ER entrance showing my family's demeanor, and began building a timeline. Your family is downstairs, Detective Williams said. They've been asking to see you. We'd like to be present when they visit, if you're willing. I agreed. They came in chattering, their voices cutting off when they saw the detectives. Mom's smile froze. Kevin took a step backward. What's going on? Dad demanded. Detective Williams introduced herself. We're investigating the assault on your daughter. Assault. Mom's voice pitched high. It was an accident. Jennifer already explained. Jennifer threw a kettle of boiling water at her sister from 6 feet away. Detective Torres said flatly. The burn patterns have been analyzed by forensic specialists. The trajectory is inconsistent with any version of events involving slipping or accidental contact. Jennifer's face crumbled. I didn't mean to hurt her that badly. I just wanted to scare her into listening. Jen, don't say anything, Kevin hissed, but it was too late. Detective Williams turned to Jennifer. You intended to scare your sister by throwing boiling water at her. I shouldn't help me. I was losing my house. Jennifer's words tumbled over each other. Jennifer Martinez, Detective Williams said, pulling out handcuffs. You're under arrest for assault with a deadly weapon. The room erupted. Mom screamed. Dad lunged forward until Detective Torres blocked him. Kevin started recording on his phone, until another detective confiscated it. Jennifer sobbed as they cuffed her hands behind her back. I didn't mean it, please. I was desperate. She's my sister. She was supposed to help me. They read her rights while Mom collapsed into a chair, wailing. Detective Williams turned to my parents. You both attempted to cover up this assault by fabricating an accident story. We'll need you to come to the station for questioning. We were protecting our daughter, Dad said. You were obstructing justice in a felony assault case, Detective Torres corrected. Jennifer made bail 3 days later, but the damage was done. The local news picked up the story. Woman arrested for assault after mortgage payment dispute. Her mugshot circulated on social media. The same people who'd shared Kevin's family sticks together post were now commenting about entitled siblings and family toxicity. The mortgage company saw the arrest report. They accelerated foreclosure proceedings. Mom and Dad hired a lawyer with their retirement savings. Kevin lost his job. He worked in hospital administration, and the felony accessory charge made his position untenable. I spent 2 weeks in outpatient care. Skin grafts covered the worst areas. The doctors said I was lucky. No nerve damage, minimal infection risk. I'd have scars, but they'd fade. The prosecutor called it an open and shut case. Jennifer's admission had been recorded. The forensic evidence was irrefutable. She was looking at 5 to 8 years. 3 months later, I sat in physical therapy, working on range of motion for the grafted skin. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Jennifer Martinez sentenced to 6 years in assault case. Another notification appeared. A voicemail from Mom's number. I let it go to voicemail, then listened later. We need to talk about Jennifer's appeal, Mom's voice said, strained and tired. The lawyer needs a retainer. $30,000. I know things have been difficult, but she's your sister. Family helps family. Please call me back. I deleted the voicemail without responding. Some lessons take longer to learn than others. For my family, apparently 6 years wouldn't be enough. I blocked the number and went back to my exercises. the scars on my chest pulling slightly with each movement, permanent reminders that no is a complete sentence, and some families never learn to hear it.